Did you know that the average Shopify store loses 7 out of 10 potential sales to cart abandonment? Imagine watching $7,000 walk away from every $10,000 potential sale. This is the reality most store owners face today. I spent 2 years analyzing over 70 Shopify stores to discover the root causes of this revenue leak. And the result? A comprehensive recovery framework that brought back $342,000 in lost revenue for one store alone. Today, I'm sharing this exact system that combines powerful psychological triggers with strategic technical setup to transform those abandoned carts into your most predictable and consistent revenue source. Let me show you how. Want to know something scary? Most store owners have no idea how much money they're actually losing to abandoned carts each month. I see this all the time when working with clients. They focus on traffic and conversion rates, but completely miss the massive revenue leak happening right under their noses. Let's work through a simple calculation together using your Shopify store's numbers. I'll walk you through exactly how to find these metrics in your Shopify dashboard so we can see the real impact this is having on your business. When I pull up industry data, the numbers are pretty shocking. The average cart abandonment rate sits at 69% across e-commerce. In my work with over 70 different e-commerce brands, I've discovered many stores are experiencing abandonment rates closer to 80, maybe even 90%. That means for every 10 customers who add products to their cart, 8 of them are walking away before completing their purchase. Now, let's uncover exactly how these numbers translate to your store's bottom line. Here's how to calculate your monthly revenue loss. Log into your Shopify admin panel and head to the analytics section under dashboards. Find your monthly visitors and check behavior reports for your add to cart rate. Look at sessions by device for a complete picture of user interactions and use this formula. Monthly visitors times average add to cart rate times average cart value is the abandonment cart rate, which equals the monthly revenue loss. Take one of our clients, a skincare brand that was skeptical about their abandonment problem. When we ran the numbers, they were stunned. If you have a store with 100,000 monthly visitors and about 15% add items to their cart, that's 1,500 potential orders. With an average cart value of $85, you're looking at $127,000 in potential revenue. But with a 70% abandonment rate, you're losing $89,000 every single month, and that's over $1 million annually. This calculation becomes even more significant when you consider customer lifetime value. Every abandoned cart represents all future purchases that customer might have made. With the average customer making 3 to 4 purchases over their lifetime, that $89,000 monthly loss actually represents over $300,000 in long-term revenue potential vanishing. You might be thinking, but I already have recovery email set up. The reality is that most recovery systems only recapture 10 to 15% of abandoned carts at best. Even the most effective recovery campaigns I've analyzed typically salvage just a small fraction of lost revenue. That's why it's called recovery. After examining hundreds of cart recovery systems, I've identified a fundamental issue with the standard approach. Most store owners try to patch a leaky bucket instead of fixing the hose. The key isn't recovering abandonment carts, it's preventing abandonment in the first place. And this is exactly why we developed our baseline framework. Rather than chasing after customers who've already decided to leave, we address the core issues causing the abandonment before it happens. And we do it by fixing the underlying problems through your customer journey. We've seen stores reduce abandonment rates by 15 to 25%, which translating into tens of thousands of additional monthly revenue. Throughout this video, I'll show you exactly how much money you're losing through abandoned carts and why traditional recovery methods aren't enough. I'll break down our framework step by step so you can implement it in your store. While most store owners obsess over optimizing their checkout page, our heat map studies tell a completely different story. Would you believe that 78% of all cart abandonment issues start on your product pages, not during the checkout? And this revelation completely changes how you should approach your abandonment strategy and explain why your recovery emails might be falling flat. Let me take you through what we discovered during our extensive research at Skuology. When we analyzed user behavior across dozens of Shopify stores, we noticed something fascinating. Customers were making abandoned decisions while still on the product pages. Our heat maps captured them pausing like travelers at a fork in the road, hovering over shipping details, scrutinizing images, and reviewing specifications with visible uncertainty. And this insight reshaped our strategy, pushing us to tackle hesitation head-on through targeted design improvements. While most store owners fine-tune their checkout flow, we realized the abandonment decision happens earlier in the customer journey. Imagine trying to convince someone to stay for dinner after they've already decided the restaurant doesn't look appetizing from the outside. That's the challenge recovery emails face when product pages fail to convince. And through this research, we identified 3 major psychological barriers triggering abandonment. First, uncertainty about product fit. Customers aren't convinced this solution meets their needs. And second, insufficient trust signals make them question your credibility. Third, unclear shipping and return policies, which create friction that drives them away. And these barriers plant seeds of doubt in your customer's mind. And once doubt takes root, it becomes incredibly difficult to overcome, even with sophisticated recovery tactics later on. So think about your own online shopping experience when you've hesitated to buy something. Was it really at the payment step, or was it earlier when you wondered if the product would meet your expectations? Maybe you couldn't determine if the sizing was right, or worried about the return process if it wasn't a good fit. The high converting product pages we've analyzed address these concerns proactively. They anticipate customer questions and answer them directly on the page. They display trust badges prominently, they make shipping and return policies crystal clear, and they create emotional engagement that builds purchase confidence. And the proof of this is the increased click-through rate to the Add to Cart button. So this explains why traditional recovery strategies often underperform. They target customers who were never fully convinced in the first place. It's like offering medicine for symptoms while ignoring the underlying cause. If your customer wasn't convinced by your product page, a 10% discount email might occasionally work, but most often the fundamental doubts remained unaddressed. That's why we developed the baseline framework. Instead of just treating symptoms after abandonment occurs, it attacks the root causes on your product pages. By implementing baseline, merchants reduce abandonment rates by convincing more customers to stay rather than chasing them after they leave. The framework incorporates data-driven insights from our most successful client projects, creating product pages that effectively answer objections before they arise. What makes this approach powerful is how it compounds over time. When you fix the source of abandonment, every marketing dollar works harder because more traffic converts. Your ad costs become more efficient, your email list grows faster, and you create better first impressions that transform browsers into loyal customers. Now that we've optimized our product pages to prevent abandonment at the source, let's talk about the recovery system for those customers who still slip away. After finalizing recovery data from over 70 e-commerce brands, I've discovered that most store owners are making 3 critical technical mistakes that are costing them thousands in lost revenue each month. Here's the powerful 3-tier recovery system that consistently outperforms expensive alternatives and delivers real results for our clients. I've tested every recovery app in the Shopify ecosystem and identified exactly what works, saving you both time and money on solutions that often under-deliver. Tier 1 leverages. Shopify's built-in abandonment checkout recovery. It's a tool included in your plan but frequently misconfigured. 3 critical settings typically get overlooked: email timing, message content, and tracking setup. Most merchants leave this at default values, severely limiting their effectiveness. To properly configure this, head to your Shopify dashboard settings and find the checkout recovery options. Set your first email delay to 45 minutes instead of the default hour. Our data shows this hits the sweet spot between giving customers space while their purchase intent remains fresh. Then customize your email template with dynamic product images rather than text descriptions. This visual reminder alone increases return rates by 26% across our client base. Tier 2 creates a strategic email sequence that builds value over time. Start with a simple reminder if there was a technical issue. Don't add any discounts yet. Your second email, sent within 24 hours, should introduce product-specific reviews and social proof. Only in your final follow-up, around 72-hour mark, should you consider offering an incentive or a discount. The effectiveness comes from tailored messaging. First-time abandoners with high-value carts receive trust-building content, while returning customers who've abandoned multiple times get messaging that addresses price sensitivity. This personalization makes customers feel understood rather than targeted. And once you've optimized email recovery, Tier 3 introduces SMS for stores processing over $50,000 monthly. These messages achieve extraordinary open rates up to 98%, making them perfect for time-sensitive offers. Tools like SMS Bump or Postscript work well, but proper implementation matters most. Maintain a 4-hour gap between email and SMS communications to avoid overwhelming customers. The most powerful addition to your recovery arsenal is dynamic retargeting ads that display the exact product your customers abandoned. Connect your Shopify store to Facebook or Google Ads and create product catalog feeds that automatically update based on customer behavior. Most store owners either skip this step or set up generic retargeting showing random products. The performance difference is striking. Properly configured dynamic retargeting recovers an additional 7 to 12% of abandoned carts compared to static approaches. So what makes this system exceptional is personalization throughout. We implement dynamic content blocks that adapt based on cart value, customer history, and specific abandonment triggers. A customer who reviewed your shipping policy before leaving might receive communications emphasizing shipping guarantees or free thresholds. This systematic approach addresses different customer objections through multiple channels with increasing intensity, ensuring your recovery strategy is targeted and effective rather than random and hopeful. So here's the truth about the cart abandonment. It's both a technical and psychological challenge that demands a two-pronged approach. The most successful Shopify stores tackle these issues from both angles using the baseline framework. Don't make the costly mistake of focusing solely on recovery while ignoring prevention. Start by implementing the baseline on your product pages to address abandonment at its source. Then layer in the free-tier recovery system to capture customers who still leave. Every day you delay is money slipping away. Industry research shows that e-commerce businesses lose $2.6 billion annually from cart abandonment. So revenue you'll never recover without action. So if you want to learn more and implement these strategies on your Shopify store, join our community to grow your store. Link in description. Ready to reclaim those lost sales? Watch the next video to see how the strategies that generated $100 million across 70 products can transform your conversions today.